Hello, everybody. It's Ohio Game Talks back with another video. So, I'm a day late, but Josh Harrison has signed with the Cincinnati Reds on a minor league deal. So, he is invited to training camp, and that's amazing. It's a welcome home moment for Josh Harrison. Welcome home. One thing that was it's always weird to me is when you see players on division rivals that play for so long. It's always funny like seeing them in any sport, like seeing them on a rival team is always it is pretty odd. It's happened before. Um, but Josh Harrison, after 70, he got drafted by the Pirates in 2011, I believe, or not drafted, but his rookie season in the MLB was 2011, and it spanned over to um 2018, and that's when the Pirates kind of went downhill, ironically, because they were like, I think they were like a few games, they were like 82-70 or 82 and 80, 83-70, something like that in 2018, because they had that second half fall off, but yeah. So this is a welcome home, Josh. Welcome to Cincinnati. We're thrilled to have you. So looking at the career of Josh Harrison, he has a 270 batting average, really good. The average is obviously 250. Um, this isn't like he's batting like below the Mendoza line either. Like coming into this year, I mean, he has 73 home runs, 388 RBIs, and this is over 4,300 career plate appearances. One thing that sticks out to me is a two-time All Star. That sounds low, but I'm not throwing shade at the Pirates or anything, but he was on some really, really, really awful Pirates teams. He was on good teams as well, don't get me wrong. Like he was on like um the three playoff teams that they had from 2013 to 2015. He absolutely was a baller in those, defensively especially in my opinion, but um he wasn't on very good ones, 2011, 2012, not the best. And I do think that he definitely was better than his resume of All Star appearances do show. Another thing I just talked about, he has a 286 against the Reds. He was part of that Reds killer core. Him, McCutchen, Russell Martin, um, I guess Marte before he was on roids, Starling Marte. But he always plays well against the Reds. He always has. It's uh, a Reds killer, but we're thrilled to have you as a hometown guy. So yeah, he was just a monster. I remember I can name like five defensive plays where he just robbed us. But yeah, looking at why I like the signing first of all is not only is he versatile, he can play like multiple positions. He's played outfield, he's played like multiple positions in the infield, second, third, and I think that he can really bring it to the young team, the really young team. We're relying. I think one thing about Cincinnati in the 2024 baseball season, they're really relying on um the growth of the young guys. I think that's a challenge for Cincinnati. I think like he can really help out the young guys with his mentorship and just his versatile play. Um and he has, like I said, he has defensive flexibility. And that's going to be huge. And I think his leadership, his mentorship, can help out the young dudes. And I'll dive into each one individually. And then just speaking to general, I mean, his professionalism, he's never had an off the field issue, at least, and like that's also great. Obviously, you don't get a parade for doing the right thing, but he can obviously be a great help for the young team, and uh, hopefully keep the ship going. And talking about like who he can help. So I think he can help Jonathan India a lot because Jonathan India. He's as great as an offensive player as he's been the last 3 years. He's been one of the worst second baseman defenders. And he's had some really, really just poor plays in the infield. And I think he's got high potential. I think he can benefit from Josh's insight on the infield, talking about like just his approach, even on offense. He's had some struggles. He kind of fell off after his rookie year in 2022, and was kind of meh in 2013, pretty on and off. But I think he can learn a lot from his just approach to the game in general, and I think the same can be applied to Jose Barrero. He can learn a lot from his experience and just making adjustments. He was obviously rough year to say the least. I won't dive too deep into that. But I think his approach to the play can change. He's been around for a while. He's I think he's like 30, 37, I believe, something like that. So he's been around for quite a bit. And I think the same can be said for De La Cruz. He's obviously the biggest one here. He's got the tools to be a really good player in this league, a great player in this league, one of the top players for sure. He's a top 100 player according to MLB Network. Um, but he can benefit, I think, highly from his, like, with his expectations from Josh Harrison. And same can be said for, like, same thing kind of for McLean and Marte. I mean, they're like, they just the what I really like about Josh Harrison is, like I said, he's very versatile, and he really, as you can see, these positions, he can really hopefully make this team a top defense, if not like a much better defense than they were last year, with all the struggles that they had. And I think, he can play outfield, he can play like just he can do everything. I mean, I think the only one he's not played is first base. So I really like that he can add a little bit of that confidence in the younger guys. But yeah, that's pretty much all, guys. I got to say, I mean, I love this signing by Cincinnati. I think this is going to be a great addition for us. And even though we might not see it in his play, I still think he can be a great for mentoring and just helping the young guys out. So I'm really excited. And I really just, can we just hurry up? I'm tired of watching games with a neutral, like in sports, like a neutral kind of feel. I mean, I haven't seen the Bengals play since like the second week of January. I want to see one of my teams like play. I'm just excited for baseball season. But welcome home, Josh. We can't wait to have you. And let's go Reds. Take care, guys. Ohio Game Talk signing off.